Hi everyone, let's cover my Elliott Wave analysis on Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. And at the end of this video, I will also share my personal approach on how I would look for a new long or short opportunity in case I'm not yet involved. Now starting with the bullish scenario where we want to count a 3-wave corrective structure to the downside from the all-time high. Now this is labeled as a WXY double zigzag. Zigzag in a wave W, we have our wave X, and then a zigzag in a wave Y. Now, if the low of wave Y is in, we want price to move to the upside and take out this high at 117K. That is the most important level on the chart for bulls. Move beyond 117K and probabilities move in favor of the bulls and higher prices are to be expected. Even if price moves to the downside once more and then moves up after, no problem, the relevancy of 117K remains, and still if price moves above that level, probabilities move in favor of the bulls. In the bearish scenario, we want to see strong continuation to the downside, and at the moment the move down is actually quite slow. Of course, the move from all-time high, the first structure here, was relatively quick, but afterwards it's just down, sideways, down, sideways, down, sideways, down, sideways, etc. And what we're looking for here in this bearish scenario is strong acceleration. We're looking for maybe another 1, 2, who cares, but then a strong, large wave 3 to the downside. And wave 3 in an impulse is commonly the strongest, longest, most extended, highest volume wave in an impulse to the downside. So you want price to move down, big candles, volume increasing as price is moving to the downside. And then after your wave 3, you're going to be looking for a couple of wave 4s and wave 5s. And this then gives you a very typical impulsive pattern where you have a bit of a grinding structure in the beginning. Those are your 1, 2s. You get your acceleration stage, that's your wave 3. And you're going to end with a grinding structure again. And those are your wave 4s and your wave 5s. And if you can recognize this structure here after a big move, and you also have an area of support, then that is an amazing opportunity and one of my favorite trades in general to look for a bounce back towards the upside. And I explained this in a lot more detail in the first video in my Elliott Waves Beginner Guide playlist on my channel. So this one over here, please make sure to check it out. It will significantly help you in your trading with Elliott Waves. Now the invalidation of this particular scenario is, and there you go, 117K. If we then look at the levels, so my support and resistance levels, this is what I currently have on my chart, so feel free to copy them if you want to, right? And then we get to the probabilities and my approach. So the probabilities and my approach, there we go, there is the text box. So conclusion. Move above 117K is good for the bulls. Probabilities are then higher. The move down is a corrective structure compared to it being an impulsive move, increasing probabilities for higher prices to follow. And of course, on the YouTube channel, I will continuously follow up with new updates to keep you guys informed. Now, bears are looking for continuation to the downside and they need a price to accelerate. You want to have a big move to the downside. Now, so far, the move down is actually quite slow, with every move down being relatively short before then a new range starts again. It needs a big wave 3 at some point, and bearish structure has to remain intact, with the invalidation for the bearish scenario being 117K. And then we get to my approach in case you're not yet involved, right? So for long opportunities, right, preferably price is first taking out the high at 117K to make sure that probabilities are on my side, because we then expect higher prices to follow. Now, generally, price is not just going to move up in a straight line, right? Eventually, you always get a retracement, and this then eventually gives opportunities to join and look for a move to the upside. So that is where the first opportunity lies, is prices moving up above 117, maybe eventually hit some resistance, and then we get like retracements, right? And if these retracements enter your support areas, those are great opportunities to look for a next move up and at least take out this high and maybe for continuation to the upside. Not even a bigger bonus if the move to the downside here is also a corrective structure, right? Even a bigger bonus if we get a 5-wave move to the upside, followed by a 3-wave structure to the downside, right? Into an area of support and look for another move up. At least take out that high, that's target 1, and then eventually look for other areas of resistance, and those are then other TPs. So that is number 1. Now, the second opportunity for the bulls is actually waiting for the bearish scenario right, to play out. So you have your 1, 2, 1, 2, and then poof, you get your 3 to the downside. After your 3, you have your couple of 4, 5s. And as mentioned, if you have an area of support, great opportunity to look for a long and at least a bounce to the upside. But it requires a bit more patience, and you got to wait for the bearish scenario to basically play out and get that move down. Now, if we then look at shorts, then first of all, what I write over here, if every bounce up in this downtrend is a higher probability corrective structure, short opportunity, right? However, currently the risk is higher because price is now testing areas of support, right? We're currently at the daily here. If you lose the daily, we have this low just below for a potential swing failure pattern. And just below this low, we have 2 point of controls here at 111, 111.5K. Only below the point of controls, there's a little bit of a gap here, as you can see. But then what I write here is important, right? Because if price moves to the downside, hits support, but then support fails to hold, and you retest support, right? Preferably with some bearish CVDs, that would be very nice. And that is exactly what happened yesterday. And I shared it in the Elite membership group as well, right? So here, yesterday on my chart, we had the value area high at 113.5K, right? Here. And price initially found support, perfect, moved down, and then started to retest it as resistance. And while it was retesting the value area low as resistance, it then rejected, came back up, bearish CVD. And then again, price moves down, more bearish CVD. And that is exactly what you like to see. And that then gives a bit of a scalp opportunity because, mind you, it was a very, very short move to go from the value area low to the next level, which was the daily. We're talking about this move here, but it's a move nonetheless. And it's a great example, low time frame, but it's a great example of still getting opportunities even though you're hitting areas of support. So if price would move the daily, you're going to move below, get back, get some bearish CVDs, etc. It might give an opportunity, at least with the value area low, that played out very nicely into the next area of support, which is the daily. Now, the second short opportunity requires the most patience of everything I'm covering here in the approach section, because you want the bearish scenario to play out first, right? So you need to wait for the impulse to the downside, get your 4 5s, get the move up. And the move towards the upside then has to be a 3-wave corrective structure. And once this is a confirmed 3-wave corrective structure, you look for an area of resistance. That's your short opportunity. You look for a move down to take out the low of the first leg to the downside. That's your minimum target, with potentially, of course, a lot more downside to follow. But this, of course, can take days or weeks, but you get the point, right? So that is it. Hopefully this video was helpful or valuable to you. On the left, you see that video that I really recommend. It's the simplest way to use and trade Elliott Waves without even counting. Check it out. And on the right is the Elliott Wave educational playlist to help you understand everything about Elliott Wave. Now, thanks for watching and subscribing, and I hope to see you at the next one. Bye-bye.